All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Recognize we have all 5 of our board members present this evening. If you would, please stand as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we've all had a chance to review the agenda tonight. I need a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. None opposed. At this time, we're going to pause the regular session meeting and move to open our public hearing for a project hearing and second preliminary determination. The next item on the agenda is for the board to hold a project and preliminary hearing on the proposed project. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you have signed the sign-in sheet at the front of the room, which should include your name and address. After a presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the project. At the hearing, we will ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the proposed project under consideration. The notice of this preliminary determination hearing was published as legally required. The first preliminary determination hearing was held on July 13th, 2026. At this time, I will ask Superintendent Holly McGee to explain the purpose of this hearing, the purpose of this meeting.
Sure. Pursuant to Indiana Code 20-26-7-37, before a school corporation may spend more than $1 million to build, repair, or alter a school building that will be financed by a lease or bond, it must hold a public hearing at which explanations of the potential value of the project to the school corporation and community are given. Similarly, pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-20-3.5, a school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or to enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of the non-controlled project, or if the school corporation has a debt service fund tax rate above a certain amount. These public hearings and the adoption of resolutions are the very beginning of the legal process. These resolutions establish the maximum financial terms for the proposed project.
We will now hear from our superintendent about the process of determining and communicating the project to the community and the need for the project.
Normally, this is also the school attorney, but he couldn't be here, so you get me for all of it. Although not required by statute, the superintendent or his or her designee may also discuss the history and process to this point.
We will now hear from our superintendent about how a proposed project will be financed, as well as information about the effect on the typical property taxpayer.
Okay, the underwriter will provide financial information as shown in the resolution: hard and soft construction costs, cost of issuance to equal total project costs, principal and estimated interest, annual lease, rental, interest rates, tax rate increase, and impact on how the proposed project will be financed, as well as the information about effect on the typical property taxpayer.
We will now open up a public hearing. Remember, if you would like to speak, please sign in on the sheet, which is located at the front of the room. As I mentioned earlier, we ask that you state your name and address, limit your comments to the proposed project and financing. Keep any comments at 3 minutes and avoid being repetitive if possible. Nobody has signed in, correct?
Nobody signed in.
Okay. Thank you to all who participated in this hearing. We appreciate your time and interest in the project and the future of our community. Please note that this is the first step in the legal process. The board will continue to work with administration and its professionals to look for efficiencies to conserve tax dollars while meeting our educational needs. Yeah. It doesn't say.
Okay, you mean to just...
Yeah, just go
Okay.
ahead.
The project resolution is required when the school is planning to spend more than $1 million per building. It contains the estimated hard and soft construction costs and the cost of issuance and establishes the total project cost. It also contains the estimated tax impact.
Could I have a motion and a second to adopt the project resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt the project resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? No questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. You read that part.
Okay, the preliminary determination resolution is required when a school is planning to finance more than a certain amount of money for any given facility. It contains the total project cost, maximum annual payment and lease term, and other financial terms such as the estimated principal amount and the tax impact.
Could I please have a motion and a second to adopt the preliminary determination resolution?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? No questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Okay, the next resolution is the reimbursement resolution relating to the financing of the construction project. This resolution permits the school corporation to reimburse itself from bond proceeds for any cash which it might spend on the project prior to the closing of the bonds. It is required by federal tax law in order to preserve the school corporation's ability to reimburse itself.
Could I have a motion and a second to adopt the reimbursement resolution?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? No questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Not doing this, do we?
Nope, that's just their resolution.
Okay. Well, at this time, I need a motion and a second to adjourn our public hearing.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That portion of the meeting is adjourned. We will now resume our regular agenda, which moves us to our consent agenda, which includes review and approval of minutes, a regular session board meeting on July 13th, a review and approval of claims, review and approval of fundraisers, which there are no fundraisers this evening, review and approval of donations. I do have a donation for the soccer fund of $2,500 for soccer equipment. A review of approval of field trips. Our two field trips are fourth grade going to Rainsville on September the 18th for Living History Days, and our advanced auto class on September the 4th going to Brownsburg for going to Lucas Oil Raceway. This also includes review and approval of personnel report and review and approval of student transfers. I need a motion and a second to approve our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions about any of those items? No questions. All in favor? Aye. None opposed. That concludes that portion of the agenda. We will now move to new business. Review and approval of non-certified job descriptions.
That was a lot.
Something that we've been working on for quite a while to get things kind of locked down as far as what each job is, what it entails, and it'll help streamline a lot of things. So I need a motion and a second to approve our non-certified job descriptions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? No questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Moving to review and approval of Covington teacher evaluation. You want to say anything about that?
Sure. So the teacher evaluation for this year, it really hasn't changed from last year. The biggest change is we're not going to use the online pivot platform. It's very costly and cumbersome to put in information. And so over the summer, we're still going to be using the RISE rubric, but I've created an in-house form that will still rate the domains at the same percentage and everything. It's just we won't have to pay for that platform. The principals have already seen it and got to play around in it to make sure it's more user-friendly than Pivot. They have shared that the Pivot system is not friendly. So it's not that the evaluation itself isn't changing, but rather the platform that it's housed in.
And my favorite part is the walkthroughs now have a place to go.
Yeah.
So like, you go into the classroom for the 45-minute, horse and pony show and you see it all, and that's great. But walking through a classroom more often for 5 or 10 minutes, you really get a feel for, you're able to really see each of those components and domains, and you know what you're looking for, and you can come back if you don't see it the first 2 days. So now we have a place to document all of that.
Great. Okay, well, I need to motion and a second to approve the new teacher evaluation.
I'll make a motion to approve the new teacher evaluation.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any additional questions? No questions, all in favor? Aye, none opposed. A review and approval of the Covington Community School Corporation application for use of school facilities form.
So we had an old facilities usage form, and it's very old. And we kind of have gotten away from it. And we have a lot of organizations that use our facilities. And so the process wasn't laid out on who to get the form from, how to get the form, and then the form goes through. And so we cleaned that up over the summer. We now have a flow chart, and it's an easy link for anyone who is interested in renting our facilities can get on and fill out the form. And then it goes through the steps to make sure, from starting with the athletic director and principal to the superintendent, and then a board approval. And so it does require that they have to have a little bit of time so that we can get through those approvals, but that won't be a problem.
Okay.
So.
All right, I need a motion and a second to approve the new application for use of school facilities form.
I'll make a motion to approve the facilities usage form.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? No questions, all in favor? Aye. None opposed. Moving to review and approval of Western Indiana Community Foundation grant request form.
Yes, if you can't tell, I worked on processes this summer. So the Western Indiana Community Foundation is a great asset for our school. And they have given Covington so much money. I have a list of, I met with Mr. Powell, and he brought a list of everything they've donated as far as to the school. But what we have found after talking with the principals and Mr. Powell is a lot of times people are applying for grants representing the school, and we don't even know that they've applied for them. And so, and the number of grants that our school district has gotten is high. And so this is not us. Basically, what is, if somebody wants to look at a community foundation grant, this could be anybody from an athletic team to a parent to a PTA to a after prom, cheerleading. I mean, the list is very lengthy. They will first fill out this grant request form where it just tells us, the principal of the building, like, why are you asking for this money? Have you done anything else to raise money first? Because we don't want the community foundation to always be our first stop, right? And how many kids will this impact? And just make sure that they've thought through it a little bit. That'll go to the principal of the school. They'll approve it. It'll come over to me. If they've approved it, I'll approve it. I'll bring it to the board. And the Western Indiana Community Foundation has agreed that moving forward, they will not approve any grant that doesn't have an internal approval from us. So if we approve somebody to apply for a grant, they would have a copy of the form that says it was approved by everybody.
Okay, so I need a motion and a second for the approval of the grant request form.
I'll make a motion to approve the grant request form.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on that form? No questions, all in favor? Aye. None opposed. Moving to review and approval of the City of Covington and the Covington Community School Corporation SRO MOU.
And we should have this every year. I don't think we've updated it since like 2020. So, but the biggest changes in 2020, it said that we paid the city, and then or how was it, that we paid the city and then they paid the SRO, but that hasn't happened for years. So it just needed updated to reflect what happens, which is we pay directly the SRO and their benefits and salaries. But they still are considered a reserve officer with the city police. And they have to, go through the same qualifications that they do. They go and do the shooting hours on the range and everything through them still too. And I've sat down with Chief Foster. It was just a form that hasn't been updated,
Mhm.
that needed updated.
Okay. All right, so I need a motion and a second to approve SRO MOU.
I'll make a motion to approve the SRO MOU.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? No questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving to review and approval of assistant boys tennis coach Jeremy Pettit with a stipend of $1,000. Need a motion and a second for that.
I'll make a motion to approve that hire.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on Jeremy? No questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Looks like he's a glutton for punishment. He's also going to do the girls tennis assistant coach. So I need approval for Jeremy for the girls as well.
I'll make a motion to approve for the girls.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions for the girls assistant coach? No questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Then I need a review and approval of 8th grade boys basketball coach Dusty Poor with a stipend of $1,500.
I'll make a motion to approve that hire.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions about Dusty? No questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Moving to review and approval of the 26-27 food service for daycare price proposal.
Yeah, so we have been working hard to get our daycare class to be able to eat. Well, they won't eat in the cafeteria, but they'll be able to access food from the cafeteria. And that just is a different price because they're not allowed the same amount of food because of their age and size, and they have some restrictions. So we got it approved. We're really excited about. We're up to 10 kids right now, and that's a great number. We're very excited about that. So that's just the approval for that price.
Okay. So I need a motion and a second to approve the daycare price for lunch. I guess it's probably breakfast too?
Lunch and breakfast
Breakfast, yes.
for those who are old enough. We have a lot of infants, so a lot of them won't even be old enough
Right.
to eat.
I'll make a motion to approve the fees for food service for daycare.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? No questions. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I just want, Holly, so what are the latest numbers you said that we've got?
For daycare?
Yeah, just,
And right now we're only in-house. So this is
Right.
our year to just do employee kids, but we're up to 10 kids right now,
Okay.
which is a really nice number in my opinion. Katie's worked really hard to get that room set up and it's looking great. And they've had intakes with all the families individually to just see the needs of the kids. And I'm excited to see it expand. I mean, my vision would still be next year to open it to the public as well.
you bet.
Okay, moving to review and approval of purchase of a 2012 yellow bus for $12,000 from Southeast Fountain School Corporation.
We have a bus that we sent to be repaired, and it was going to be about the price of a new bus. So we said, just put it back together and we'll see how long it lasts. In the meantime, we share a mechanic, and they, as well as us, have condensed their busing, and they need to get rid of this bus. It's got very low mileage, and our mechanic said it was really a good deal, knowing that one of our buses is on its very last leg and could not work anytime. So
Okay, so we need a motion and a second to purchase this bus from Southeast Fountain School Corporation.
I'll make a motion to purchase the bus.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. I guess my question, and I think I talked to you about it. We're just gonna keep using the bus
we will.
until it's like
Yeah.
park in the weeds somewhere, you know?
And that could be tomorrow, or it could be in a year.
Or it could last.
It's not a safety concern, it's just mechanical. issue.
No, it's not a
Yeah,
safety concern.
right, yeah, yeah. So we'll just, and then this bus here will just kind of be on the side waiting when we need it, so, okay. All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Moving to first reading of policies, PO 2430.001, the Wednesday night family night, and PO 9130, public complaints and concerns.
So the Wednesday night, family night, last year when I was my first year here, I started hearing a lot of concerns about our Wednesday night policy. Well, there was no policy. It was kind of an unspoken rule that we would not have events on Wednesday night for family night. That had translated to many as for church. I met with as many of the religious entities I could in a group, and even their idea of what that night for varied. But in the end, we agreed that we do need to have it very clearly defined. When you don't have something defined, you make no one happy, right? And so I worked over the summer to develop a policy and had our attorney look it over. And basically what it says is that on Wednesday nights, the school will have no school-sponsored events after 5:30. That's pretty much how it's been run. However, we will still allow for outside organizations to use our facilities on Wednesday night. And when I met with the pastors, local pastors and everything, one of them said this to me and it really hit me. He said, we can't be selfish. It's not just Wednesday nights, it's just not for us. We won't reach every child in church, but somebody else could reach those children. And I agreed with that totally. And so the Wednesday night, if there's a facilities usage form, which is now easy to get to, and it's filled out and approved, they would still be able to use the facilities. But this also defines, so like we can't have optional athletic nights where we say the athletes don't have to come, but they can come, because that that puts our athletes in a position, I hear a lot, well, I feel like I have to go. And even though the coach, that's not their intention, you do. I remember being an athlete, like, oh, I better go to that.
Sometimes it is their intention.
Right. And sometimes it might be their intention. So it's just finally something laid out in writing. So when there is a question, we all have the same answer. So yeah. And then the second policy is just the mandatory library policy if someone was to dispute a book in our library. I talked with Ms. Taylor, we had a policy, we had a procedure, it just never was put into a policy, and a policy was required.
Well, many of us thought, me included, I thought we had a Wednesday night family night policy for 35 years and we've never had one. It's just kind of the way it's been. So,
Yeah.
So we're finally putting that in place. So there's no question about what it is and what it's not. So
A lot of cleaning up this summer.
Yeah. So I need a motion, a second, to accept the Wednesday night, I don't, this is first reading. So we'll have second reading in our September meeting to approve though. This is just first reading, so no motions needed on that. Okay, this brings us to our general public comment section. I want to read our public comment guidelines, and I've got two that have signed up for public comment. Indiana statute requires public comment to be afforded to all regular session board meetings. The purpose of the public forum is to give members of the public the opportunity to address the school board on any matter regarding education and the administration of our schools in this setting. We as board members are not compelled to answer questions or respond to you and typically will not engage in back and forth dialogue in this venue. However, this board and the superintendent will note your contact information for response if appropriate. As always, we invite you to contact any of us by phone or email for follow-up. Individuals wishing to speak must have signed in prior to the meeting and return the completed speaker sheet to the superintendent or treasurer 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. Individuals shall address only the board president and will have 3 minutes for their statements. More than 3 individuals wishing to speak about the same topic shall be given time to collaborate to determine one presenting individual and shall be given 10 minutes for statements. The board president may at any time prohibit statements as stated by the posted public comment rules. The total allotted time for public comment is 30 minutes, and individuals will present on first come, first served basis until all allotted time is accounted for. The first section is for comment on agenda items. We've passed that, so this is just on general public comments. I do have 2 that are signed up to speak. I have Emily Miller and Susie Strauss. You guys can decide Who wants to go first? If you could come stand at the, if you're able, come stand at the podium. Introduce yourself and what your comments are.
Good evening. My name is Emily Miller, and I'm a Covington graduate, class of 91. Whoop. We are here this evening to ask and show support for the naming of the football field only, not the whole complex, just the football field, in memory of Jack Hunter. We don't know what the board's stance is on this, but we definitely are willing to achieve the goal and help the board in any way that we possibly can. Susie has more information about the
Okay.
that you might need.
Yeah.
I was just nominated to present.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm not a public speaker. I'm Susie Strasser. I'm a 1976 graduate of Covington High School. And I'm probably, people that know me know I'm Jack Hunter's first cousin. And we worked on the football field. Our family did. We built a press box at our family farm. And also, of course, we love Jack just as everyone else did. And if you just look around the town, you probably see kids or adults driving that had Jack as a driver's ed teacher. Kids, grandkids, everyone here probably, but he was a great person. Of course, we're biased. So we'll do anything we can if we need, to help out. If there's anything that you need from us, please just let us know.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you for your
Thank you.
comments. Okay. That brings us to our administrative reports. Vicky, got anything additional for us?
Chad,
Yes.
I think Greg signed up.
Oh, did Greg sign in?
I didn't have the form from him. I signed in all of them. Oh, you know what? You checked Greg. Greg, that's why I tried to give him a form to fill out.
Ah.
I was gonna be a radio.
Greg, Greg.
She said, I don't know who selected
Come on up.
this one, but I'm not talking.
Come on, Greg.
Here's the point, get you in trouble. I wish I had his voice, that's all I can tell you. Yeah, he gets me in trouble all the time, that Greg Green. Here's a handout for this 50th celebration of the Trojan Complex. I talked to Mike the other day, he came to a meeting. And there's,
I got your stuff today.
you got my stuff, yeah, you got that. There's that one. There's that one there. Yep. There's Paula, you guys can share that one, I guess. She's
Oh, yeah,
already
I've got one up here. I
I've
got
got,
one.
I've
in
got,
the office. Okay.
I've got.
So I thought this would be a good time to recognize the community for building the complex 50 years ago. I was a junior when they built that. That tells you how old I am. But the plan right now is Friday, October the 9th. We don't know what time. We'll have to talk to you, the school, what you think about that. Talk to Brad Short. One of the ideas, number 2, would be to have a tailgate prior to the game. And if we do that, we need a food vendor, possibly, so they can work that out. I can help. I can do all the advertising on Facebook. I can take care of the newspapers. I got a guy from Kiss Country that can probably get us free advertising. So I can take care of all at number 3. I've already talked to different, Bruce Torkelson's coming in from Indianapolis. I've talked to a lot of different players already this week. So the idea number 4 would be introduce all players who were there that night, freshmen through seniors, coaches, managers, cheerleaders, band members prior to the game. And I have a program here that when we produce that, if the school can pay for that program, I have the whole program from the first game. It's not sized right there. I've got my original, but it's in my basement. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, all the stuff I've got about Covington. So I went down there today trying to find it. So if we could put that in, some articles about the complex when they build it, every person would get one that comes in the gate. That would be a good history lesson for the young kids or anybody not from Covington that did not know how that was built. It just didn't pop up one night. So that's kind of an educational thing. Also, I thought that would kind of help the push football program a little bit, show them a little bit of push for how that got there. Maybe have some of the players, some of my classmates, they would be glad to talk to some of the players before the game or after the game, if the coach wants them to. Mr. Greg Green, again, I like to pick on him. He's my MC after they introduce the seniors that night. I like to have him introduce a couple of people. I have a couple of people in mind. I won't tell you who they are right now. Give a little 2 or 3, 4 minute speech. And then also we could have community members contribute to photos, any kind of stories. Scotty Wallace gave me a 2 or 3 minute video. Did you look at that, Holly?
I did.
That's pretty neat, wasn't it? That was neat. A 2 or 3 minute video he had of the complex from the southwest pole up high. He shows the crews building the complex, and it had been sodded because they did that on July 4th. It was real hot.
Wow.
I heard all those guys tell me how hot it was on July 4th when they sodded that project. So that's another thing I thought we can do. We can put that on Facebook. So I need copies from Craig, Holly, when you get that. If you can get him to make me some copies, I'll put it on.
Okay.
I talked to him already.
Okay.
And then our name right now, unless somebody comes up with something better, would be CHS Trojan Complex 50-year celebration. If anybody has any better ideas, I'd take that. Also, at the end, I thought sometime in that program, we could have anybody who had family donate time or money stand up and be recognized. Trying to show people that Covington contributes. And just trying to, it's another educational situation again. So I thought it'd be a good night for Covington and the community, and it's a win-win-win.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Thank you
taking
very
the
much.
lead with
Any
this.
ideas? We'll talk to Krista and Holly and anybody, and Mike's coming tomorrow, Wednesday, I think he's coming to the office sometime. We're having a meeting. Craig Green's on that, and I'll pick on him again. He's on the committee, and Diane and Carolyn Davis, that's 3, 4 people that's here tonight on that committee, so.
Awesome.
If he has any ideas, let me know. I'll see Heather about every day in the bank, so she'll catch me. So, anybody have any questions at all?
No, just thank
Think
you.
so.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
all right, thank you. It'll be a fun project.
Okay. That brings us to our administrative reports. Vicki, got anything additional for us? All right. Did Ross have any information for
He
you?
did not, he had back to school night with his kids, but
Okay.
other than the bus, he did not.
Okay. How's our project coming over at the library?
Well, there's concrete now, and that's a big step.
We're waiting for the carpet.
We're waiting for the carpet. And
Yeah, a lot of you probably don't know, over the summer, we had to basically rip up the length of the elementary school library, 'cause we've had to leak, we've been leaking for years.
And it, yes.
So they had to cut a trench about 2 to 3 foot wide, east and west there across the library and
And
fix
there's
some
no
stuff.
window, so they had to literally use wheelbarrows to take the concrete. It's been a project,
Yeah,
to say
so
the
they've,
least.
they've got it covered back over, but there was the carpet we wanted was not on back order, so they had to go pick out new carpet. So they're trying to get it back together. It's not gonna be back together for Thursday, but
It'll be back soon, though.
they're working on it. So it was a much needed repair that we've been wanting to do, so. Paul, you got anything for us?
Just chugging away, trying to get everything ready to go for Thursday.
Yeah,
Still got a lot more to do, but we're getting there.
I noticed, I've seen evidently people haven't maybe gotten their transportation stuff in all the way, because
Right.
there's,
Right.
you know,
So we also realized an opportunity to clean up our bus routes a little bit by making sure that we, as a school district, know who's on the bus every day, right? So we should know every bus and who's riding that. And our bus drivers are so amazing that often, like, a parent might call and need to change the route or change the bus, and the bus driver would just do that. And that as out of the kindness of their heart. But for safety reasons, we really need to know, in case there was an accident, who's on our buses and when. And so we have pushed it out that we need everybody to register. They always have to register. But that they won't be on a bus route if they have not done their registration for this year. And we're going to be pushing out a message tomorrow because we have a lot of people who have not filled that out yet. And they will not be routed
Right.
until they
And
do.
that puts you behind on,
Yeah.
routing things.
Because like what we're finding right now is, we started the registration process, but they haven't finished it. Well, we can't review anything
until it's submitted. Yeah.
until everything's submitted in.
And what we've done is kept everybody on our bus route who may ride a bus, but oftentimes they never do ride the bus.
Right.
And we have to have an accurate number. We have some buses that don't have a lot of bodies on it, and we need to just have an accurate count. So it's going to be a growing pain, I think, but
We'll get to it.
Okay. Holly, got anything for us?
no, other than I was going to mention that. I want to give a shout out to Becky Story, our food service director. We said, hey, can we feed pre-K this year? Because we're doing all day pre-K. And she just jumped right on it. Yep, this is how we do it. And then the daycare family said, hey, it would be great if we could have our daycare kids. We didn't have to bring their lunch and breakfast every day. And she just jumped on that and got that taken care of. She's made some changes that Miss Hardy asked for at the elementary school to serve our kids better. And she's just been extremely flexible on what our needs are to make sure that happens. So I just wanted to give her a shout out for sure. Skyward, we've had some issues with Skyward with registration. The same time the state approved what we approved last month of no longer having a middle school entity as a building, that didn't roll over in Skyward. And so now we are just hoping tomorrow Skyward will be correct.
Great.
Yeah, we've been working around the clock.
Around the clock.
Yeah.
All right. Any board member comments?
Just one. Holly, I don't know how much people are aware of this, but if you can just give them an idea of the new students and the number of them, and because it's
Sure.
pretty incredible.
I'm really happy. I don't have the exact number because of Skyward, but we are looking right now, and this is preliminary, but we have gained around 40 new additional students, which is enormous for Covington. Our numbers have been down for like 9 years. And again, this is preliminary because of Skyward, but it looks like we're only losing 3, and one is moving away, one is going homeschooled, and one is going virtual. And so that's a really good sign. We've been trying to share the good things happening, and I think that's very exciting. It may even be more than that now, but I can't give you that exact number until Skyward works right. So by next month I will.
And some of you may have seen on Facebook, Fountain Central's offering free meals for their kids this year, which is great. That's awesome. And we did that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not, saw comments, I wish Covington would do this. It's not that we don't want to do it. It's
It's not
You
a
can explain
grant.
it, yeah.
So the grant isn't a grant like we would go to the community foundation for. It's a grant that looks at the number of families that qualify for free and reduced meals. And so the district I came from in Florida, we were a very inner city school district. So the number of kids that qualified for that was so high that we easily could do free lunches and breakfast for everybody. Covington tried that, but our number is not that high. And so it ended up costing Covington so much money that the food service had to actually take out a loan last year from us. And so it really isn't like a competitive grant, but rather is a grant that looks at the levels of income for your families. And like I said, they did try to do that here, but it ended up because so many families wouldn't have actually qualified. It costs the district so much money that we are still working on getting back.
Well, and part of it too was our food was already free. So a lot of families didn't fill out the form because they were already getting free lunches. So they didn't fill out the form for free and reduced. So that's kind of what knocked us out of that.
I think it's great
situation.
too. And I've been where this happened, but it's, it definitely is not as easy as.
I
just being
think
free.
you can only do it every so many years. You can't do it. I think it's like a 3-year program or something. I remember
You
when
can
Becky- yeah.
reapply for it to continue,
Yeah.
but.
So that's why if you hear on the street the company's not giving out free meals, it's not because we refuse to, we didn't even look at it. It's We did it, and it, the way our free and reduced lunch works out, we did not
It hurt
qualify.
us. It hurt
So,
us. Yeah.
so that's the reason, so. Upcoming dates, our next meeting is September, I think it's a little bit later. I think it's the 14th? 14th, September the 14th, our regular session board meeting.
Oh, the athletic events start this coming week.
Yeah, we got,
Football is going to change because we're running into schools not having enough players. And I know our
Really?
first game has been canceled and most likely our second game has been
Oh,
canceled.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know soccer, we got a game this Saturday, then we got games Monday, Tuesday, Thursday next week, so it's
It's not our team. We have enough.
Yeah, it's other schools. off to the races, so. All right, well, I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
South Newbury.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And then the other-
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.